Hey everyone, it's me Gavin Vengeance, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be streaming some Honkai Impact 3rd, as I posted not too long ago, maybe like a month or more, on the community page right here on YouTube. I was taking a break from Honkai Impact 3rd, however I did make it very clear that that was not the end of the journey for myself. I would be returning to it once I found some time, and that time seems to be now, hopefully. It seems like things have calmed down at work and everything, so that's a great opportunity for me to finally dive back in and continue my journey here on the moon. I don't have any idea about what to expect outside of the fact that I know that there's new battle suits coming out for Bronya, Kiana, and also May, but I did not have any opportunity to watch any trailers or anything like their stuff, so it's pretty much spoiler free, I guess, in the sense of like I don't really know how things are going to unfold story wise. I'm very much looking forward to trying to find out exactly how everything unfolds here, and I believe that I was partway through chapter 32, which I was doing on my own time, but I'm not completely through that chapter, so I'm hoping to continue that here today. Yeah, so anyways, this is live stream. If you guys are interested in watching any of my live streams, I will be over here on YouTube, so just make sure you ring that bell, the icon and all that stuff, and then you'll get notified whenever I go live. Maybe. Anyways, that being said, I think it is finally due time to dive back into Honkai Impact 3rd, so without further ado, let's get into it. Oh man, it has been a while. I don't even know if the volume settings or anything are going to be like decent, so hopefully it is. Let me know if things are too loud on your end. If you guys are here live, I will try to rectify it. I did log in the last 2 days after I did install the game, but I have not done literally anything in terms of like new story content or any of that stuff. I've been taking advantage of the returnee benefits. Shameless. It helps, I guess. I'm still not really familiar with how any of the like weapon upgrading or anything works, because I know they revamped all that. Yeah, there's so much stuff that's like not really like I'm not akin to knowing right now. But I'm looking forward to learning everything, and then again just refamiliarizing myself with all the systems and all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I know that a lot of stuff was listed and it was showed how, like, you know, pretty much everything had changed, but I didn't pay attention to any patch notes or any of that stuff, and I avoided pretty much every video because I didn't want to see any spoilers or any of that stuff. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm just really excited because I know that the new battle suits are supposed to be coming out sometime soon. I don't even know what elements they are, or like if they're going to be imaginary, which I think Bronya is. That's the only one that I do know. But I don't even know which element it is, so I'm thinking it's probably ice, more than likely, because, you know, Bronya, ice. I'm gonna guess that May is probably going to be lightning, and then, you know, obviously Kiana's probably going to be fire, but I could be surprised. Maybe one of them will end up being physical or something. Don't mind me while I just spam through all of my daily stuff that I'm not caught up on. And, you know, again, I haven't even touched the event, the Bustling Holiday event. I think that's probably a rerun. If it's not, then that's my bad. And yeah, so since I've been back, the only thing I've done has been Elysian Realm. That's literally it. That being said, we are here for one reason and one reason alone, and that's the story. Again, chapter 32, I'm not sure how far along I am. This seems very different. Am I even this far in the story? Because I was doing stuff on the moon, but I don't remember this. I know it says everything's new, but I remember doing this part. There was something else, or was it maybe an event chapter, or like chapter 31 EX? I don't know. But I was on the moon, and I was doing stuff, and we got to see like the construction or something of the Hersher finality in the background, or Hersher of the end. Maybe? I think, if I'm remembering it correctly, I'm probably not. Again, very foggy on all of this stuff. I have to go back and refresh myself, but I guess we will continue on with chapter 34. That doesn't seem right to me. Why does it seem like I'm missing something? New Atra Sanctuary, 32 to 33. Okay, so this is where I was. This is what I remember. See, I told you I wasn't losing my mind. I was doing like daily task or something, and I didn't finish this portion of it, I don't think, at least. I don't even know where to continue. Right, so I was upgrading the terminal. We were learning about everything that was going on the moon. We met with, I can't even remember her name, but she was a Shariak, I believe. Which I'm guessing she's really important. I got really surprised when I saw her at the very end of the... maybe that was the end of 32. I don't know. I don't remember. But there was a whole thing going on with like us being in a bubble universe, and then Kiana met up with May, if I remember correctly. They had a really, really touching moment together, and I think that's about all I remember. Head to where the energy fluctuations were detected. Where to go? Okay. Deep within the tunnel. Hits the girls like a hammer. What? Okay. That doesn't sound too promising. Story. There we go. That's the good stuff. Let's, oh, wait, I don't even have a team formed. Okay, so this literally got rid of absolutely everything. I will just go with my tried and true team that I was using prior, which was a physical team, I believe. I may have had one elemental character in there just, you know, to make sure that I had an elemental character. I believe I was using Sele because she's like the, or she was the main character for this portion of the game. From what I remember. I think that's something along the lines of what I was using. Anyways, I don't know if that's even important anymore. So, bear with me as I recenter things here and just try to tap into these forgotten memories from over a month ago, I believe. Let's go continue on. Recycling docks or finished recycling? Huh? Who in the what now? So I remember looking over the edge here and seeing the Hersher of the end. And I think that was probably just in the bubble universe where, was it just the Hershers or something transferred there? Whoa, oh no, oh no, that's not good. That's not what I wanted to do. Alright, let's see. Where to go? Again, if audio levels are out of whack, let me know, please. Fuhua! Her voice fell like a hammer, knocking everyone into silence. Time seemed to freeze for a few seconds before someone spoke up. Kiana, can you feel it? Yep, it's faint, but I'm certain that's the energy fluctuation unique to practicers of Edge of Taishuan. And it came from somewhere far below. Great Master, no, Fuhua, is deep in a bitter struggle. So Hersher of Sentience left first. Probably not because she thinks we can't catch up, but because she thinks we're already too late. Fuhua is in a good situation, but Kevin, if he's the same Kevin I know, then he's probably planning for a fight, planning to fight his ambition. At any rate, we need to do something about Fuhua. Yeah. If there's something that Fuhua needs to fight for, we're a part of it too. In that case, let's get moving. Procrastinating is a bad habit. True. Wait, we should discuss who goes and who stays first. I agree with her. There's no such sign yet, but we can't leave the people of Nuatra with World Serpent, and we'll need people to back us up here. Bronya, I'll stay. I have a good relationship with the people of Nuatra. I should be able to organize everyone quickly should emergencies arise. So noble. Also, the signal of Sea of Quanta on me can be more easily detected by Durandal's Sumeru or Kiana's authority. That makes me a signaler, doesn't it? Yeah, you're not any signaler, but a lighthouse watching over us. Dude, you gotta love the character interactions in this game, don't you? They were able to exchange thoughts with just a glance. It's up to Celia then. I'll do my best. Be careful, Celia. There are multiple gray serpents that are highly dangerous. I understand. She had to part with her sister again just after they were reunited. But she had no regrets. Such was the life of a Valkyrie. I'll take care of the rear. The most important thing now is to find a way to reach and help Fuhua. Right. As for scouting, while we were talking, Kiana is already... Kaboom! What is going on? Is that Kevin? Alright, stuff's about to go down here. Kiana, can you find a path to avoid that attack? Crap, I didn't read that. I don't know. But this confirms one thing at least. Although we're in the proper world, the power of finality or something else has made the space far more dangerous than Earth. Is there a direction that's relatively safer? Yes, but it's so obvious that it becomes suspicious. Suspicious? Yeah, it's close by. It's the shaft beneath the elevator, or this elevator, to be precise. This platform that lifted us up, it can only go up and down a short distance, if I'm not mistaken. Not exactly. Its structure clearly allows it to travel down further. Really now, so we're going to the core of the moon? Possibly? I guess even if it's obviously a trap, we can't give up trying. In that case, Bronya will try to hack into this elevator's control program and see what she can do. Meanwhile, you can continue searching for other potential routes. Alright. See, myself and Kiana, we think alike a little bit, right? So... I'm so excited to see how things are going to unfold. I really want to see big moments for these characters now that the band of Valkyries is back together. So many great characters, and now they're all reunited. I don't know, man. Hopefully we get some answers too. Man, I heard Kiana say you have a big red dragon. Ah, right. The only problem is I haven't regained my full power, so I can't summon Kurikara. What about having Kiana teleport us to where Fuhua is? That's what I've been thinking. But in terms of imaginary, the surrounding space is rising and falling like the sea, and we don't know Fuhua's exact location. If we rush into action, I can't guarantee everyone's safety. Speaking of exact location, I've been thinking about something. Looks like we all woke up in drastically different places on the moon. Kiana, Bronya, and I woke up separately in fragmentary bubble universes. Durandal, I, and Sushang woke up in New Atra. So did Sora-chan and co. Like I said, the Hershers kinda, you know, together in one bubble, possibly. What will Fuhua's situation be? Maybe she went looking for Kevin. All the more reason to help her. Moreover, if we don't press Kevin, we may never learn the truth about Honkai. Right. Dude, Sushang's such a badass. Whoa, this goes pretty deep. And if we get knocked down from here, it'll be like that time when I need to stop thinking about it. Durandal, did you find anything new? Nothing. But one thing caught my attention. If the elevator is able to go down, why could it only move between two floors? Compared to the power blocked it, compared to a power blocked it, I feel like that's probably a translation issue. Or we didn't activate it correctly. I think the most probable reason is someone did it on purpose. All right. Maybe I'm just reading it wrong. Anywho, that makes sense as the sanctuary isn't far away. Too bad we didn't find any other operating mechanisms after checking. Randall noticed Kiana staring at her. Before I got to know you, I thought you were a bruiser, but I've realized that you're a master of all trades and knowledgeable in every field. I was just guessing. I'm not going to help us, or it's not going to help us. What we really need is the ability to solve problems, which is what you and Bronya are doing, instead of talking about them. Really? Now I feel a little embarrassed. Let's both do our best. Dude, I like that. That was a great interaction, even though it was so subtle and so short between those two characters. Very meaningful. Alright. Bronya time. Alright, I remember something with another character called Prometheus. That just hit me out of nowhere. Bronya, how's it? It took some time, but it came out alright. However, the moment Bronya hacked in, Bronya felt a power that doesn't belong to herself. It's arguably ubiquitous in the elevator's control program. This elevator is without a doubt a trap. And we have no choice? Uh-huh. Durandal, what do you think? If our opponent wants to see us, I say we go see them. I knew you'd prefer acting immediately to planning prudently. If you are stalled by an elevator, then you're not qualified to meet Kevin. I'm afraid that's our opponent's message. He's just testing us. He's toying with all of us. I understand. Let's get going then. Silly, please stay here for us. Okay, leave it to me. Alright, well I guess it doesn't really matter which characters I was picking to traverse this map with. But I'm okay with that. At least we're getting control of our heroes again. Not that, you know, Silly's not a hero, but you know what I'm saying. Okay. Could this possibly have something to do with Prometheus? And again, bear with me because it has been a while since I've played the game, so my combat skills are probably not going to be up to snuff. Just forewarning, if I get my ass handed to me, that's for a reason. Why did it stop? Am I gonna battle? That is some heavy panting. She suddenly remembered a phrase. I want to know what I can do. Hey, don't worry. You'll have a lifetime to figure that out. If divided by its long life, it clearly came from a faraway beginning. A time when the suffering had come before the good had begun. Hua. No need to continue. Dude, he looks so sick. I've tasted your willpower. I don't think so. She could barely hold her sword in her hand. The pain from the reaction was eating away at her exhausted body along her nerves. Less than 3 minutes. That was how long Garuda could last against the diabolical. But she managed to hold her sword in her hand. The battle isn't over yet. I don't intend to fight you to the death. So you ought to pay attention to your surroundings. The instant she shifted focus from the battle, she understood what he meant. several corporeal divine keys had appeared from nowhere on the empty ramp. No need to be confused. They were always here. As our epitaph, frozen in time. Hua, in the past, Sue and I partially kept the truth about finality from you. Before you entered the cryopod, we said finality would destroy everything, and we'd leave the sanctuary to build a new civilization. That much is true. And when you woke up 5,000 years ago, we told you a new civilization had sprouted. But that was merely sophistry and self-deception. There has only been one budding of humanity. The difference between these two eras only lies in the changes after the start. Say what? Her heart pounded. She was aware she did not know the whole truth, but even so, she had never envisioned this possibility. The worst possibility. So if there was only ever one budding of humanity, then what's going on with the multiple iterations of it? The start? Which is 50,000 years ago for us? Yes. 50,000 years before us and 50,000 years before Raiden Mei, humans descended from the same group of ancestors. Except for ourselves. She froze for a long time before grasping what that meant. He meant the history of the Earth civilization was but a 50,000-year cycle. Okay. In fact, pioneers and stigmata were the outliers brought into this era by the Great Hibernation. The eras they experienced were wildly different only due to the changes in initial conditions and random processes. So, this is the authority of finality. Yes, this is the authority of finality. Cycling the planet, erasing civilizations, resetting everything to the start. Finality is time. So put your sword away. I have no intention of continuing our fight. It will not do you, me, or anyone else any good. Kevin? You know, I don't give in that easily. You're like Teresa. Teresa? Not long ago, we had a duel. Worry not. Right now, she is sleeping in a dream. When Project Stigma is completed, she will live freely in a newborn world like all of you. You are powerless, of course. So am I. Fuhua was silent, but her pale face wore a small smile. I want to know what I can do. My power is to show you what the people of this era are willing to pay for what they believe in. A belief that's difficult to realize isn't worth holding on to. Besides, their road ahead is in no way clear. Kevin, as I see it, everyone's future is equally chaotic and equally unclear. Just like us from 50,000 years ago, we relied on our stubborn strength and untenable belief. Was that not enough to keep civilization alive? And since we could, those we watch over can do even better. Well, those are empty words. I know. That's exactly why Kevin, my comrade, that's exactly why Fuhua became your enemy. He saw Teresa's spirit in Fuhua's eyes. It was what no amount of setback or suffering could keep down. It was the hope for a better future and the resolve to sacrifice for a cause. I see. If this is your choice, so be it. Come at me. Fuhua. He had seen this sort of verb before in a certain harmonica-playing boy. With each step, Fuhua's body slowed. With each swing, Fuhua's wounds worsened. Garuda's restorative properties barely made a difference. But she did not stop. Like a moth after a flame. I won't allow this battle to be your end. Not fully wanting to, he shot down the moth. Fuhua. There was no answer. Having made it across 50,000 years, she leaned against a broken wall quietly, sword in hand. I promise you, we'll live in a world without Honkai. And those you believe in will receive the best ending possible. When the time comes, a tombstone of our era will be erected by your hands. The sound of footsteps came from the distance, interrupting his musing. It was someone who should not have appeared here according to Project Stigma. I thought you didn't want to get involved. Hersher sentience, possibly? Who knows? After all, who doesn't like a heroine? Well, shit. I don't know what to think, man. I'm kind of sad, but at the same time, I'm kind of curious. Was not expecting that. The heroines of this era find themselves in another mire, as they expected. And even Li Susheng, who left home for adventure at a young age, could not help but lament the current situation. People say seeing is believing. But here in imaginary space, it's one strange thing after another. The black fire flaring up, an elevator that won't go down, space suddenly distorting. I didn't know this Kevin you feared has so many skills. If Great Master has trained for 5,000 years, he probably didn't waste a day in 50,000 years. I have a feeling it isn't all Kevin's doing. During my days in World Serpent, the Kevin I saw didn't display the ability to overcome the Hersher of the Void. That's not entirely true, Miss Raiden. I've been reading a detective novel that says, when you have eliminated all which is impossible, then whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. I'm not following that at all, but sure. Susheng, that doesn't apply if you don't have any clues. Dude, Durandal, so sick. Best girl, 1000%. Is that so? Yeah. But the point isn't who trapped us here, but how we get out and keep going. After looking around, they were able to confirm one thing. While the elevator descended endlessly, space was rapidly rebuilding itself as Kiana and Mei had experienced in Mindspace. When the light returned, a corner of the extra dimension appeared before them, an eerie, foreboding labyrinth. We're in a labyrinth, so we just need to find its exit. And the best way to do that is to split up. And the first one to find the exit can call the others, but doing so might put us right where the enemy wants us. Bronya was about to cut in. Oh, crap. Fat fingers. But you beat Bronya to it. But Kiana summed it up nicely. Whether this is Kevin's doing or not, these obstacles are clearly meant to slow us down. And giving us a series of choices in various situations may just be a way to conceal the tactical intention of taking us down one by one. Yeah, unless it's necessary, we should stick together. In that case, to ensure we don't lose any combatant in the imaginary space, please let Sushang and I take the lead in battles. You three make a perfect team. This way, when we come across a tough opponent, you'll be refreshed and ready to fight. Okay. Alright, let's continue on, man. Let's keep going here. Should I speed on through? Yeah, this is odd. Very odd. Knights? Knights of Favonius. Great Knights of Favonius. Good old tried and true tactic of charge them down. Oof. I didn't even realize platforms were there. I just kept running across. It's a good thing that they came in at great timing. Great timing. I love how she's making video game references as I am like literally just battling a bunch of these knights or assassins. All right. It seems like there's they're multiplying. It's definitely what's happening. Oof. Burst. Okay. Cool, man. Assassins defeated. Still wondering about the whole like time loop thing that he's talking about, like resetting everything to the beginning. Oh baby. That alt though. Zhongli Sword Edition. That's weird. Feels like we've been walking forever, but there's still no sign of an exit anywhere. Just like when we were dragged into the theater of domination by puppets. I was also brought to the theater of domination by Otto. But according to Genius, this area isn't as large as the theater of domination. It feels more like the infinite cloister. Cloister, right? I don't know. I think it's cloister. Cloister? Pokemon. Cloister. Infinite cloister? Dr. Einstein said, after the battle of the second eruption, Siren created a closed space known as Infinite Cloister to trap Kiana's parents. But by attacking one point repeatedly with all their might, their attacks tunneled through the Infinite Cloister and forced Siren to separate it from her body. Brute forcing their way, though, I'm wondering if that's supposed to be through, reminds me of a certain flame chaser in the Elysian realm. Taught me that even if you're stuck in imaginary space, you can breach the space itself by attacking it with everything you've got. Well, that said, it's unclear if this maze is closer to the Theater of Domination, the Infinite Cloister, or the Elysian Realm. or if it's completely different from all three. This is purely a feeling, but I feel like it's not so much a completed structure as a natural occurrence. Space appears to extend indefinitely, and there isn't really a sense of being closed off. So like our previous encounter, as a space that's more natural and open, it might grow on its own. In other words, this maze will grow as we go, generating new paths? I see. Much like what you and Fuhua experienced at the Theater of Domination. So we're stuck in a roguelike now. Randomly or procedurally generated dungeon, right? How would you confirm it? By repeatedly testing and comparing data at different locations. Nope. Just find the loophole that must exist and you're good. She pointed to as far as her eye could see. When we move forward, the path moves forward. So, when we stand still, the path also stands still. So what happens when we go somewhere even further than the horizon from here? But you said if we move forward, the path moves forward. Or moves, right? Oh, I get it. Then it's up to Kiana. Hersher of the Void. Void powers. Let's go. Yep. At the Theater of Domination, the puppets trap Fuhua and me by tearing down one wall to build another. Back then, we had to spend a lot of time figuring it out, but with Kiana here, we can get straight to the answer. Well, I'll give it a try. For Kiana, who had now regained her authority, teleporting in flat time or space-time was easy. With a snap of her fingers, the black portal appeared before everyone's eyes. Sick. Sick! We're back to where we started. Alright. Probably my fault. I'll give it another try. Wait, Kiana. Before blindly trying again, let's analyze what went wrong. You can sense the space is open, but what about the space shape? While it isn't the same as the infinite cloister, the most confusing element of any maze is how it's shaped. That makes sense. Maybe we overlooked something before. Kiana closed her eyes. For the Hersher of the Void, perceiving space was effortless. Like taking a breath, like the beat of a heart, constantly happening so long as she is alive. Like the sense of touch or smell. Only when she concentrated on it did this sense occur in her subjective consciousness. The veil covering the truth drifted to the ground. Unlike the bridge before, the more distant the space was, the more complex it became on a higher dimension, like turning gears meshed together. It was not only difficult to picture the space or locate a single gear, but also painful as the senses were crushing the mind back and forth. But she refused to quit. After all, her friends were counting on her. With this thought in mind, she opened the portal once more. However, the world seemed to mock her efforts. On the other end of the portal was not the end, but the past. She tried several times, each time changing the position of the doorway and the landing point, but the results were still unsatisfactory. One more try. Kiana, take a break. Alright. I'm sorry, Kiana, but Bronya has been thinking, and the conclusion is, this isn't your problem. It's Bronya making the wrong assumption. But thanks to your efforts, Bronya was able to figure it out so quickly. It's not the maze that's changing, but us. More specifically, there's likely a special force field above us that's following us, This force field makes it so that you can't use your spatial ability beyond the maze. Force field? What do you mean? Bronya should have explained it better. To put it more graphically, it's like an electromagnetic wave, May. You should know why it can travel through vacuum. Yes, a changing electric field gives rise to a changing magnetic field, and vice versa. And so, electromagnetic waves continue to travel to infinity. So you mean, the space beneath us can extend indefinitely on its own like electromagnetic wave? But if that's true, it shouldn't merely form a limited closed loop. Right, this phenomenon is hard to explain. A field that curls on itself shouldn't form a stable space, but in a bubble universe in the Sea of Quanta, different forces are interacting. Different forces interacting, like yin and yang? The way of the heavens lies in yin and yang. The way of the earth lies in flexibility and rigidity. Rigidity? The way of the human lies in kindness and justice. All things exist because of two conflicting forces. Two conflicting forces? What are you thinking? Well, if two different forces intertwine, they may result in a new balance, just like... No, forget it. It looks like my guess might accidentally make sense. At the very least, we should test if the Hersher and the Stigma awakened share this dual relationship. You mean, the composition of our team is what caused this maze to trap us? It's just a guess, but it doesn't cost us anything to test it out, right, Bronya? Indeed. We can test the hypothesis so long as we split up appropriately. Well then, let's give it a try, yeah? Sounds good. Better than everyone being stuck here. Uh-huh. Then, I'll stick with Durandal and you three will stick together, and we'll go in two separate directions. Sounds like a great plan. But how will we contact each other? If the space here doesn't change in a pattern, need I use my Hersher of Thunder powers to call you? That's one way to do it, but Kiana, I want you to take this. This is the genius we used at Collison. Yes. In most cases, it'll pinpoint our location. With May's ability, there shouldn't be any issues. Let's start? Go ahead. Alright, so we're splitting up because our powers are conflicting with each other, causing this place to become an endless maze. Gotcha. Alright, this should be far enough. Let's contact Kiana. We don't need to go any further? You have to be cautious about experiments. After all, who knows what will happen? What is it? Why isn't Kiana's genius working? Looks like there's a mishap. Is that Dr. Schrodinger? Bingo. But, if you can hear my voice, then the space you're in is likely no longer stable. So, that's why we can't receive Kiana's signal. Basically, yes. I was studying this not long ago. Want to hear what I found? Of course. But we're in a hurry to check on Kiana and the others. Just as anxious as you were when you were a child. Don't worry. Your concerns and my findings come at the same source, or come from the same source. I can't speak. Does this mean the very existence of Stigma awakened will serve to expand and be a cornerstone of Project Stigma? I see. From how you performed afterwards, I needn't only tell you the bad news at the time. What exactly are you guys talking about? Remember when we discussed that the bubble universe ruled by the moon has nothing to do with Earth? In fact, planets can dominate space only because, astronomically speaking, they are the center of gravity. For the universe, planets may not be different from the pegs on the walls, pinning imaginary endings on the picture that is the galaxy. I am lost. And when we zoom in on this picture, we can see several holes near Earth. Holes? Are you referring to imaginary singularities? Yes, just as gravitational singularity forms a black hole, an imaginary singularity tears apart the surface of reality. I better get used to all of these terminologies because I know Honkai Star Rail's around the corner and it's probably going to be plugged full of big words and a lot of, like, you know, methodologies and all that good stuff. I think I kind of get this, possibly. In contrast, your Stigma Awakened are doing the opposite, which is attaching patches of phenomena to the torn reality. Phenomena? Phenomena! Does it have anything to do with that island Nagamitsu envisioned? The term phenomena may be too obscure. You can understand phenomena as the connections between essences. Schrodinger, you are really not making this any easier. Just gonna put that out there. Herschers push something simple to its extreme, whereas Stigma Awakened string together different things to create something new. Life is a bridge. Its greatness does not come from its purpose. It connects the noon, the dusk, and the dawn. A spontaneous meaning expands in the process. Something like that? Nah. It can be understood this way in terms of free will, but not just Stigma Awakened. Based on those two sentences, I hope that everyone can be their own creators, solvers, and saviors. At the very least, as you can see, those Herschers that have humanity have more or less done that. But we're not here to analyze the meaning of life. The point I was trying to make is, those bearing Stigma are like spiders born to spin webs. Project Stigma, in turn, weaves a web so large that it can even bind and absorb finality. But this web is still being woven. It requires the Stigma Awakened and the dreams of others to weave phenomena, irrespective of anyone's will. And this is, as I had told Bianca, bad news. But even then, she had told me she was confident that she and her friends could deal with this crisis. I'm still trying to follow things here, but from what I'm understanding, because of Bianca Durandal and her Stigma Awakened, essentially this something, I don't know. It's because she is the reason for this. As they say, where there's a will, there's a way. Well, Dr. Compass, looks like you found something. Yeah. I'm sure it will be unveiled to us in the near future. Dr. Compass, never mind. You can have fun with your nicknames. At any rate, Project Stigma is like weaving a web, and Herschers are the sparks that can burn this web before it's done. Okay? See, I thought it was going to be simplified at least a little bit. So World Serpent's first step in Project Stigma was to target and seal all Herscher cores. Yes, and not only that, if a Herscher can split their power into several parts, they can use this power to weave another web in reverse, like matter's forming a solar system under gravity. So essentially burning that web that's being weaved in all directions, more or less. So then the Stigma Awakened and Herschers are like two poles of a magnet. It's not the most accurate analogy, but it's helpful. For example, you think Kiana's genius isn't working, but in reality, time has barely passed for them after you left. What? While time is frozen for them, it's flying by for us? Right, but this makes the previous analogy a lot more complicated. In this space related to Project Stigma, your distance in imaginary space increases exponentially after leaving the three Herschers. As a result, you can't receive their genius signal because of spatio-temporal desynchronization. So, essentially because I am so far away in time and also distance, that's why I'm not able to receive a signal from their genius. Gotcha. Hello, thank you. Thank you very much for joining me. So, if we follow the initial coordinates back, you'll likely find that they only just left. Okay, so essentially, Stigma Awakened is able to travel much more quickly than the Herschers are, from what I understand. The Herschers' authorities can affect the imaginary space more than the Awakened Stigma in you two. This ensures you can close the distance when approaching each other. Well, that's good. We can still return to where we were and tell them what we found. What then? According to Dr. Compass, we still have to split up, right? One side adds, one side subtracts, and the end result is that looping maze. So if we don't separate, then we can't leave the space. But if we're not together, we can't communicate. You're right, but that gives us an opportunity. Let's start. Go ahead. We can't see Durandal and Li Susheng. They're so fast. What's wrong, man? Something's off. We haven't gone very far, but they... Huh? They're coming back. They are? What's this about? So, does that mean that Durandal and Li Susheng have to stay put, and then our team of Herschers have to leave? Right? Because whenever they leave, it expands the space. But if they stay still, then maybe the space doesn't expand. And maybe if the Herschers leave, then the space deteriorates? Is that what I'm understanding? I don't know. I'm telling you, what we're going to do will make your jaws drop. We plan to run back to Earth on our legs? Okay. In short, we do plan to return to Earth from the moon on foot. Okay. Okay. I know this sounds ridiculous, but yeah, a little bit. Durandal relayed Schrodinger's thoughts on the situation to Kiana and the others. That's the theory. If we are far enough apart, then you, who are Herschers, should be able to easily leave this maze, return to the real moon, and reach the bottom of the pit. But then the distance between the moon and Earth is 380,000 kilometers. Even if you're physically stronger than Herschers, Brunga can't fathom how you'll make that journey. With the help of Honkai energy, of course. We plan on borrowing the power of Project Stigma. The power of Project Stigma has the opposite effect on Herschers and the Stigma Awakened. But since we're passively helping Project Stigma weave a web, then this maze must be a hub from which Project Stigma controls Earth. Okay. Why? Remember how I mentioned earlier that the space near the moon was too stable for Sumeru to work? In that case, the Stigma Awakened can't expand the imaginary space spontaneously like we're doing, so World Serpent is quite cautious about operating imaginary space. The area we're in can't be a derived space without practical use. This is, of course, all conjecture. The real proof is this. These are the projections of the information captured by Sumeru. They clearly all belong to our Earth. Among them are stations, roads, plazas, parks. Yes, we get it, Durandal. Shores and other places we know. Not far from us, such jumbled information is rushing towards the moon and is somehow processed and transferred back to Earth. So, as Stigma Awakened, we can hitch a ride on Project Stigma to return to Earth and find people that can help. It's hitchhiking and paddling upstream at the same time. I calculated it'd take about 48 hours of flight using Godsbane thrusters to reach the imaginary area near Earth. Then, we can use Sumeru to float to the real space, learn the status of real Earth, and plan from there. Since Dr. Schrodinger's noticed Shixel HQ wasn't directly affected by Project Stigma, then Nagamitsu has possibly carried out the first stages of island operation. This island operation is a set of experimental technologies Shixel gathered from the data they collated over the past 6 months. Simply put, by using techniques from the bubble universe, it can protect certain locations from any imaginary attack, including Herrscher Finality and Project Stigma. Since it's unable to affect the entire world, Durandal didn't talk about it. But what if Kevin finds out about your movement and intervenes? Then we would be sealed like you were, but World Serpent won't tamper with this path much, with Project Stigma already in progress. What's more likely is that even if they do find out, they won't be able to intervene precisely. They'd risk too much in doing it. I see. In that case, it's definitely worth a try. So because they're already carrying out what they want to be doing, they don't really want to be bothered with trying to prevent us from going to prevent them from doing it? At any rate, being unable to change the situation is the worst thing. But as Herrschers, we'll need to figure out our own way of fighting. Speaking of which, I know something that might be of help. According to Dr. Schrodinger, in the moon pit we were supposed to descend into, there's an extinguished immovable point. Is it the wreckage of Finality? It may be connected, but this point seems to have been mechanically modified twice. Even Dr. Schrodinger finds its state fascinating. As a wreckage, it resembles both Finality and a wormhole partially, which is to say, long ago, someone may have constructed an imaginary path between Earth and the Moon using the power of Finality. I could definitely see that being a possibility, more than likely something that actually exists. If we can use it right, it might become a weakness of Project Stigma. Nonetheless, we must be careful about stimulating the power of Finality. Compared to World Serpent and Shixel's plans, what we need to do is to find a positive destiny that belongs to us all. A positive destiny. Let everyone live their life to the fullest by following their heart, right? Yeah. That's a very good way of putting it, man. That was the message Alicia left behind. She was Kevin's comrade 50,000 years ago and sacrificed before finality descended. I understand. Perhaps World Serpent... No. Kevin. He wants us to go beyond Project Stigma more than anyone, right? Uh-huh. At any rate, we can't just stand by and watch the world we love made into a plaything of those that want to regulate it. Project Stigma got us good, but if we regroup, I mean, everyone at St. Freya, Anti-Entropy, Shixel, I know we can put together a plan that goes beyond finality. We can do it if we could return to Earth. If Dr. Tesla and Nagamitsu were here, they'd agree. I see. They're probably thinking about... Alright, Durandal. Let the scientists do their jobs. Our job, on the other hand, is to find a way back to Earth, right? You're right. We shouldn't waste more time here. So, according to Dr. Schrodinger, once you're a distance away, Kiana can use the authority of the Void to return us to the real moon, right? Right. As for Fu Hua, she needs your help. Kevin will likely be your opponent. He's not invincible, but it's perhaps too early to battle it out. Right. Our main goal is to meet back on Earth, and I've always believed that Kevin isn't an enemy, but a competitor. If this is a game, maybe the first half isn't even halfway through? Yes. And winning a battle isn't important. We need to win this war. So, this is goodbye, everyone. Good luck. Alright. So the two teams said their goodbyes and went their separate ways, and not long after, the two S-rank Valkyries from Shixel received another message from Dr. Schrodinger. Only this time, there was an uninvited guest in their way. Hi! Nice to meet you, S-rank Valkyries from Shixel. Hello, Cabbage. Please take care of it. Alpha. Right? That's what that sign is? Is that Alpha or Sigma? I don't know. I think it's Alpha. Who is she? I, Hyperion. Alpha? I'm just gonna say Hyperion. The mysterious person Silly met. You can trust her. Isn't that the name of the AI on Overseer Teresa's flagship? The unsinkable ship of eternal reincarnation. It is, indeed, a source of my birth. But she and I are separate beings. After all, I have a Alpha in my name. I'm really bad with symbols. And if I understand correctly, you were planning to use the energy hub of Project Stigma to attempt retrograding toward Earth, right? That's right. If you're looking for a lift back to Earth, be my guest. Godsbane will work so long as it has a Honkai energy. By using Project Stigma's own conduits, it won't be an issue to bring another traveler. Thank you. But as the term Eternal Reincarnation points out, I live in the pseudotime crystal. Compared to you all, I enjoy greater freedom in Project Stigma. In that case, you've chosen a good time to show up here. Was it to tell us something? Exactly. You should have already learned from Sile that finality has already occurred several times throughout history, right? Additionally, some new information should help you prepare for Kiana and the others' return to Earth. Sure do know a lot. Did Dr. Compass tell you all this? No, from our point of view, she's observed the future where you reunite on Earth. That's why she was reluctant to tell Sile the way back. The time wasn't right. I apologize. So she's like Trunks. Wait, observe the future? Let me guess. two androids destroying everything. They got perpetual energy, and they're gonna get absorbed by a third android, and then he's gonna become perfect form, and he's gonna eradicate humanity and destroy the world. For Project Sigma, everything happens in the future. This sounds a bit opaque. Technically speaking, my existence is similar to Sumeru in Project Voluka, the pseudotime crystal. In layman's terms, it's circular time. Of course, circular time doesn't exist on our planet, which is why the crystal is only pseudo. Threads of Destiny and the Cycle of Finality are both unnatural mechanics, so is Project Stigma, which was created to counter them. When the authority of finality is taken away, Project Stigma will inherit its temporal attribute. Only during the construction of Project Stigma will Earth time be non-linear. I'm sorry, but I'm struggling to follow. You say you're similar to Sumeru? In what way? Meaning that as part of a pseudo-time crystal, I can see all possible futures of Project Stigma. Humans rely on time to think, and observation consumes energy, therefore I'm not omniscient. Furthermore, for Project Stigma, time is non-linear. Right, there's no start and finish, it's just a loop. And so, because everything happens in the future, I'm able to do what I can to help you. The process is like dreaming. Sumeru. Dreaming. When night puts us to sleep, we become actors playing roles on a stage. What about the day? That is when we learn our roles in the real world. And you didn't come to the theater to play a role, but to see our show. For Finality and Project Sigma, the world is a stage. Only the former cares about ending the story, while the latter cares about continuing the story. Yeah. The placement of humans isn't as important. For humans, the end result is quite painful, but not because they're being seen as insignificant. It's quite the opposite. It's because that original force wishes to embrace us and love every one of us in a way beyond us. That's why the Origin betrayed Finality, and Project Sigma is the worst plan. So Project Sigma uses human stories to set the stage for human civilization, even if it wipes out humanity. That's spot on. So, it doesn't care whether or not humans exist, it just wants to keep the story going. It wants to keep existence going whether or not humans are there at all. And Finality wants to end the story but it wants to keep humanity there? I don't know. I'm not following. But I'm kind of following. What about you? You don't exist as humans do you? Yes, but I do hope that all of you can have your own story. The machine called Hyperion, Sigma, or Alpha, or whatever it is, said she could see the future in her dreams. She said she dreamed of the fate of Origin and Finality, and the end of the Signet of Deliverance. Okay. But in spite of that, she said, every second of real history still brought her new surprises. After all, even if the moon only ever faced the Earth with one side, each night, in each person's heart, it would be different. I kind of get it. like like finality just kind of wants our lives to be celebrated, if that makes sense, right? It wants us to have a start and an end. Like Origin wants everything to have a start, Finality wants everything to have an end, and Project Stigma just wants everything to go on for forever, regardless of whether or not anything exists. Right? We finally made it out. Now we... Dang. What is it? No, I can't sense Fuhua anywhere. Her sure sentience. No luck. We might have come too late. Kevin shouldn't kill Fuhua, but... Let's go see Kevin. Who's there? Without warning, a strange woman appeared before their eyes. There she is. She sat peacefully among the ruins of the moon. Was not expecting her to show up, holy crap. As though it was not a desolate planet, but a sunny pasture. As though she had grown accustomed to such lonely times over countless days and nights. My god, she looks so similar to Cecilia. Hello, everyone. Brave girls are the best. I'll cheers to that. Truth. You. She tilted her head, brought an index finger to her lips, and like an innocent child, she smiled brightly. I'm sure you're all very confused, and that's why I'm here. I'll answer each of your questions. Don't worry, my sire won't interrupt. My sire. Okay, so she's saying that she answers to Kevin? My god, she looks sick. I'd love to help you out. So before that, please rest a while here. This person. So we finally meet. If I'm not mistaken, you're Hare, the initiator of Project Stigma. Wow, our first meeting was hasty, yet you still remember me. That warms my heart. As May already knows who I am, I'll cut my flowery introduction short. As she said so, she jumped down from where she was perched. Yes, I'm codenamed Hare within World Serpent, and I'm in charge of Project Stigma. As for my name, it's Mistlin. Mistlin? I don't know. Mistlin Shariak. Shariak? Yes, but I'm not human. I'm a crystal of the Shariak Stigma. Okay. What? Ah, you don't seem to know what a stigma crystal is. My god. Can she be playable, please? Let's not rush things. As you came from afar, I assume you haven't seen the final crater yet. Let's talk while we walk, shall we? This... My god, can she be playable, please? Look at that character design and tell me that is not top tier. Dude. Dude. Look at this character! Holy shit. My god, man. Please. Make her playable. Before talking about Sire, where were we? You said you were a crystal of the Shariak Stigma. Ah, right. Thank you, Bronya. Anyway, let's begin with who I am. Crystal is no metaphor. Not human, but a brand new species brought to this world by the Stigmata Project. To borrow a classical term, I'm a form. Maybe you met with enemies similar to me in the previous mazes. They're seeds of ideas, artificial life temporarily staying in an incomplete state. Since they've not yet matured into forms, they tend to be hostile, which is why they attacked you while you were there. After all, Project Stigma is not yet complete. Even Stigmata themselves need some tuning. Easy for you to say, but if we take it literally, the purpose of Project Stigma is to create something like you, an existence between humans and Stigmata. That's right. I expected no less from you, but as a product of Project Stigma, we're more a means to, than an end. What do you mean? We're a vehicle for civilization, just like humanity. Though maybe that's too abstract. Let me explain with an example. I love how she just keeps teleporting away. Again, badass. Hello there, assassin. As they approach each other, a strange conversation ran through the minds of all three. Before Project Stigma is completed, there's a chance for humanity to put an end to it and find a better alternative. This is absurd. It's like trying to teach ants on a plane to prove the Honkai conjecture? I'm not familiar with it. What? The person that brought me into this world who doesn't know about Honkai? And why compare yourself to an ant when you've inherited knowledge and wisdom from humans? Humanity can't overcome anything, neither can we. This is the only thing they've taught me. The idea you inherited has been through a lot, but this conversation has proved humanity can break away from fate, and so can we. Before Project Stigma is completed, there's a chance for humanity to put an end to it and find a better alternative. Are they talking about the spiritual world? Or talking in the spiritual world? Not so much talking as repeating. Yeah. They're only seed of ideas. They aren't capable of creating new ideas, just like, oh, I'll save this example for later. Bronya hates the cliffhanger. Me too. But I hate to spill the tea before it's time. Oh my god, dude. Then why don't you tell me where these sounds are coming from? Even though we've never met, you're more reasonable. Unsurprising, since we both worked for World Serpent before. These voices are collected from people's dreams. Yes, the same people that Project Stigma has already absorbed. And since you're so interested, I'll show you some more. Yeah? Humanity will eventually perish. Mantis, divine keys, all struggles are but an elegy before the coffin lid falls on us all. That's morbid. But civilization won't die. Like Sire said, this is the initial purpose of Project Stigma. You know the fire in London that took tens of thousands of lives? That was the last memory I inherited from the culprit. Don't leave me with that memory. I understand the pain, or rather, it's why I'm here. Please accept Project Stigma and face your sins with me. You must fill the cracks of your soul with your own blood and tears. It's not hypocrisy, but putting your soul to rest. This is getting really creepy. What about the fire? Bronya remembers there being a fire in London, but that should have been hundreds of years ago. That's right. For Project Stigma, the information it can gather isn't limited to the present. All history and culture, so long as it's a part of human civilization, can nourish the stigma. You should be familiar with that, right? She looked at Bronya as she spoke. What she meant was obvious. So essentially they want to create these forms that are able to gather all of the knowledge that humans have accumulated throughout all time and carry it forward with them, even though they're not really humanity. Does that make sense? I think I'm following. Strange. She seems to have some kind of feeling toward this, the Hersher of Reason. You might have collected fragments of consciousness, but there's still something that's confused me from the start. Why would Project Stigma be used like this to fight finality? Ah, you misunderstood, man. Project Stigma is not a way to fight finality. Kinda is. I mean, if they just want to keep prolonging everything and making it an eternal or everlasting loop or whatever it's called, unending loop, the end it can reach can be described as embracing and transcending finality. Embracing? Ah, you've heard this somewhere before, man. Since you fight against Honkai, you must wish to know where finality comes from, Sire will want to tell you about this himself, but it wouldn't hurt to tell you a little bit beforehand. You mean, World Serpent knows where the Hersher finality comes from? Absolutely. After all, we're all successor to the Moths. But, to tell this tale, we'll have to go elsewhere. Try to keep up. I would assume that the Hersher finality comes from the origin? Would that make sense? If I'm understanding things. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but that's what it seems like to me. It has formed a cluster of ideas over generations and can no longer be stripped away. Yes, when a civilization clusters, it blurs the boundaries between individuals. The collective's mind becomes its brain, and the collective's will becomes its limbs. But the histories and memories of tens of millions will give birth to new thinking. Humanity is an intriguing species. Don't be surprised. That's the true form. The complete us. The pinnacle of evolution and a new life. Didn't we just learn in Genshin Impact that, you know, hive mind is probably not the best idea? Because that's essentially what this is becoming, right? Human knowledge is but a sort of poetry. Their minds always belong to one time and will never achieve what they truly want. But we're also a poem of theirs. Can't despise your creators, and you've forgotten your roots. Or you've forgotten your roots. An essential necessity, whose only counterpart in language is a rule. What I'm saying is humans can only think and communicate in language, and that's their weakness. Untrue. Then what makes us different? Were we not their language and concept before birth? What are you talking about? Does the program bear any resemblance to the zeros and ones that form it? This is giving me big time like Nier Automata vibes, with like the machines trying to whoa, crap, that leg spike though. With the machines trying to achieve some sort of humanity, even though the, you know, I don't know, man, it's weird. It's totally giving me that vibe, big time. This must not continue. No matter who makes an argument here, no one will ever debate, for everyone agrees. See, this is the problem. Nonsense. Who agrees with you? We're not a whole, and you're delusional. Whatever. Our job is to gather memories for a purpose, and you see, you weren't debating, you're stating your opinion. Enough. What's your problem? We only need to grasp their experiences, not behave like them. Must you crow in the morning because you find roosters pretty? The final crater. Oh snap. We've arrived. Welcome to the final creator. Or crater, not creator, crater. If I awaited you here, could I've welcomed you with that line? This is the stage where generations of civilizations fought for their fate. Humanity failed over and over. The cycle went on. Innumerable dissimilar wills created similar fates, and they all ended here. Kiana Kaslana, Bronya Zaychek, Raiden Med. How lucky and sad of you to be Hershers that are free from the samsara. Samsara? Yes, the endless cycle of death and rebirth of this world. Haven't you garnered info on it? This would explain a lot. Totally didn't even realize. Okay, things are starting to align in my head. I'm starting to catch things. Why is my controller disconnecting? Ah, crap. Here we go again. Give me a second, guys. I gotta fix my controller. It just randomly, like, crapped out on me. And that's not fun. But from what I'm understanding, this is potentially why, people may appear to look very similar to one another. What is going on, man? Something's going on with my Bluetooth. Give me a second. Yeah, it is. The controller is totally rejecting the game. I think the controller is just rejecting my computer because the Bluetooth adapter just randomly went kaput. Okay, I think we're good now, right? I think we're solid. Let's try it. If someone hadn't cut the thread of fate 50,000 years ago, this cycle would have continued on Earth. It's kind of explaining why a lot of the characters throughout time look similar to the ones that I've already passed in the past. Even though the thread is broken, as long as humans can't live together with Honkai, imaginary energy will continue to flow into the cocoon of finality and catalyze the birth of Hersher of finality. Okay. In that case, if we destroy the cocoon of finality or something, World Serpent wants to do the same. But that's impossible, Kiana. After all, if you want to see the cocoon of finality, you probably need to have the power of finality. Especially for you, Kiana. That means you need to become the Hersher of finality. But how is that possible? Discussing finality is like discussing death. It's exactly what it is. This is getting very, very confusing. But I'm trying my best to follow. So they're trying to give a new meaning to what death is by not having death ever occur? Or by having death just continue to mean rebirth? But on a more serious note, my statements about death only served to prove my arrogance. Although I'm capable of treading the boundary between dream and reality, I'm incapable of witnessing truth beyond space and time. Like the wreckage of finality that has turned into moon rocks, it will not awaken again due to Sire and everything you shoulder. And I wouldn't have been able to escape from the vast stigma space and appear before you if it weren't for a path paved by my senior. Senior? Yes. An irredeemable one at that. Thinking of something, Hare stared at Bronya and let out a low sigh. Bronya means to ask something else. You said the statue like great finality wouldn't, never awaken because of everything Kevin and we shoulder. What does it mean? If your anchor points in the sea, then Project Stigma stands for the broad sky. You're down to earth, and Project Stigma sounds far-fetched. But you're actually trying to solve the same problem. If you find it too metaphorical, we can approach it from another angle. To breed forms is not the fundamental purpose of World Serpent, it's only a life form suitable to go beyond finality and carry on human civilization. You mean World Serpent hasn't found a way for common people to go beyond finality at all? You can say that. After all, if we could accomplish that, why would we gather here on the barren moon and fight each other for their own justice? So because they can't carry humans beyond the end, they're creating a new life form that'll be able to continue on after the end, retaining all of the experiences and knowledge that humans have accrued throughout time, since the beginning of time, since origin, essentially. In terms of overthrowing humanity and destroying lives, you're no different from the Hersher finality. Because they're gonna wipe out humanity in doing this process in terms of carrying out Project Sigma. From where you stand, I guess so. What's civilization? The passing of years and generations, the flashing by of different faces and similar stories, abstracted into blurry consciousness and ideas. Eventually, faces fade away and stories are lost, simplified into featureless existences, just like those seeds of idea. The argument between you and World Serpent is whether such existence is a representation of civilization or the nature of civilization. We just want our normal lives back. But childhood will end, and adults will take responsibility for the world. The Project Sigma is a crappy way to be responsible. But it's fair. Haven't you heard the saying that you can't have both freedom and equity? Freedom and equity are not absolute. We can't accept Project Stigma because it's absolute. This is a technical issue, Bronya, because absolute is the most operable. For example, Project Sigma will not exclude people from civilization simply because they're bad or have done evil. The Stigma will record all ideas created by human history, regardless of their worth. On top of that, if human civilization is good, then the integration brought about by Project Stigma must also be good. But who defines good, right? Even if no one will be able to feel the goodness? Why won't they? Be it humans that were Hershers, Durandal, Li Sushang, or me. Everyone can continue with their life in the new world. You only need to patiently wait until Earth is rebuilt by Project Stigma. The only difference is in the new world, infants will not undergo the overlong process of learning and growing. They will sense everything that is known, namely ideals, perceptions, and wills in your language, via the stigma at birth. That is very imperfect. How can you learn everything without having to make the mistakes? To my knowledge, that's what many people seek for a lifetime. It's like their idea of perfection here is that the forms are just immediately instilled with everything from the get-go, so that way they don't have to make the mistakes in order to learn. People don't grow up overnight. Exactly, Kiana. Of course. But that only applies to humans. For life forms built on stigmata, they begin their journey into the unknown on the shoulders of humans. This is also known as ending childhood with civilization. Why? Did you not hear yourself? Everyone, please don't forget my introduction. I'm not a human, but a new species brought upon the world by Project Sigma. For me, those static, dull seeds of idea are not much different from first birds or southern apes. Alright, talking too much about myself deviates from your intention. I fully understood you'll protect humanity's story, but not the story itself. It's highly different from my form of existence, but I do look forward to seeing the fruits of your endeavor may yield, such as surpassing the action itself step by step. Are you saying... I said nothing. But I believe, on Project Stigma's main battlefield, you can make a difference. Project Stigma's main battlefield? Earth? Yeah. Where answers to all the mysteries are kept. Not this dead planet. If you wish to free humanity from Project Stigma, breach the final blockade and head there. That is, if you can seize the opportunity. Why tell us this? It goes against your position. Position? Ah, you misunderstood me. I'm helping World Serpent complete Project Sigma because of a ridiculous trade. Looks like you've got quite some stories to tell. Strictly speaking, they don't belong to the present me. Anyway, they're meaningless and trivial compared to yours. Bronya looked at her with watchful eyes, weighing her every word. Hare just sighed softly and said no more. The silence was awkward. Eh? Bronya? What do you think? No flaws, but no substance either. Indeed. What she said sounded astonishing, but that was it. Well, only one question remains. Why is she telling us this? Knowing their thoughts, Hare smiled bitterly. I knew it would be tough to win your trust. Makes sense, though. From humanity's perspective, everything I did was unacceptable. No matter how much I explained. It's hard to say they benefit humanity directly. Good thing you know. Long ago, someone told me if you act in the best interests of someone, they'd eventually understand you even if they didn't like the choices you made. The reason why we're in this situation is probably that I don't understand humanity well enough. And that's the problem. They're not human. How could they understand humanity, even... She lowered her eyes and sank into some kind of reminiscence. If I help you more, will the trust between us grow? I know you wish to confront Sire, and he's also expecting you, but even if you simply intend to have a friendly exchange, you'd probably end up disappointed. Not necessarily. A sudden gasp stopped her there. Without any sign, Hare reached for Bronya. With May's groans and Kiana's screams in the background, Hare's voice sounded in Bronya's ears between the vortexes of power. If you have to see him and put yourselves in danger, before that, please allow me to remove the restraints Project Stigma has imposed on you. Dull pain and shock gradually faded. The girls exchanged the same look of astonishment. May, you... The spiritual restraint is gone. The girl named Thunder was discharging electricity again. In her equally surprised gaze, Bronya looked at her own hands. So, Bronya also... But before she could think, a sudden emptiness attacked her. As if a punctured balloon, strength as mighty as an ocean flooded into her body and then vanished instantly. A cacophony of voices sounded in the depths of her awareness. They were the paths and wills sealed by the Hersher of Reason's core. What's going on? The Hersher core rejected me? Oh, snap! When she opened her eyes, she saw 3 pairs of concerned eyes. They were Kiana's, May's, and Hare's. At least, May isn't having the same reactions. Bronya, are you okay? Bronya shook her head and looked down at her hands. As she expected, they looked powerless. Sorry. Judging by your conditions, I can't help you more. Why is... I've lifted the spiritual restraint on you, which should have restored you to your state before coming to the moon. But the reality is the opposite, so I assume... She gave Bronya a meaningful look. The root of the problem lies in the origin of this power. It didn't belong to her. As she said, I can feel the Hersher core rejecting me. But this has never happened before. What's going on? When Hare met Bronya's eyes, she simply blinked and smiled calmly. It's not an illusion. She's keeping something from us. Bronya? Don't worry. I'm okay. The question is... Kiana? May? Are you two ready? The girls froze for a second, then showed a knowing smile. Of course. I may not be the right person to say this, but... You have 0 chance of winning if you face World Serpent Sire in your current state. If you choose to recuperate, I'll create a suitable space for you, and he'll gladly wait on. As long as Project Stigma hasn't fully converted Earth. Despite that, you still insist on talking to him right now. You pointed out that we must get back to Earth as soon as possible. Even if we recuperate, we can't shorten the power gap between us and Kevin. It'll only make him look down on us. That's right. Surprisingly, Hare locked eyes with Bronya for a moment, her expression meaningful. That explains. I understand. Please go ahead then. He's not too far down. Okay. So she allowed 2 of the girls back their full power, and Bronya got stripped of her power because it, in my opinion, didn't belong to her, right? From what I understand. The man named Kevin stood amid the silence, as he had been accustomed to for 50,000 years. The past, he had let the tides of memory and thought crash into him, while ruminating on the past that had eluded all for tens of thousands of years. Until now, when he stopped dwelling on the superfluous. Today, he only needed to wait, for the river of time had long since flowed into the sea. It's over? It's over. Good. Aren't you curious about what I did? You looked somewhat surprised when I came to you actively. I even reminded you that dream catching can only aid Project Stigma so much. Aren't you worried? No need. Yeah, no need. Everything is futile. But every futile effort means something to humanity. Don't you agree? If not, then what did you do that for? The fluctuations in the nearby space brought about by the power of finality had not fully subsided. That's only a way of communicating. Withdraw yourself. They're coming. Oh shit! No way, dude. Oh man. No way. No way. Do I actually get to fight him now? Oh man. Oh man. Let's get another thing straight first. Fuhua isn't here. Yeah, we know. We can't censor. Fuhua? She's my only comrade left in this world, and an admirable opponent. But Project Stigma doesn't need that, so I didn't mind giving her a moment's rest in my own way. In other words, it's the same thing you did back in North Africa, right? I'm just happy to know she's fine. Indeed, but more importantly, as with her, I won't reject your request for battle. Kevin, I know the whole story, or the whole of that history, and why you have to do this. So this is not a duel, but a conversation. You can ask. Bronin will go first. No matter the cost, humanity shall purge Honkai. For you, the cost includes humanity itself, doesn't it? You got one thing wrong, Hersher of Reason. Humanity will never die. That's debatable. Even if the human race ceases to exist, civilization will be passed down. Civilization will, but humanity will not be, Kevin. It's the same as dinosaurs evolving into birds. Dinosaurs cease to exist, dude. Even if it'll push today's humanity to extinction? Species can only choose between extinction and stagnation. Humanity is not an exception. Raiden May, you know full well there are no perfect solutions. Yeah, it's really, really good. Highly recommended. Fantastic series. This game is incredible. But so his ideals are that humanity will never cease to exist because humanity will evolve into the life forms that he's creating to carry on humanity. Of course, I know what prices you paid to get a hold of the worst of plants. But Kevin, before all is settled, we from this era have reasons to find a better solution. The writing is incredibly good as well. It's a little bit hard to follow at times, but You get the gist of it. I'm not talking about Kiana, Bronya, Fuhua, or myself. I'm talking about everyone living in the moment. The Moths was once an organization where the majority ruled. You saw what became of it. That's no reason for you to decide the fate of humanity. When finality decides the fate of humanity, it needs no reason. If you say so. Kevin, I have a question that bothers me the most. Yeah, I kind of get that. I kind of accidentally, not really accidentally, watched every single cutscene up until a very key pivotal point in the story, and reacted to all of them in a row before playing the game. Probably not the best of ideas. I didn't really quite understand everything that was going on, but after playing through the entirety of it and actually reading everything, it is a very worthwhile experience, and even though you may know some spoilers, there are a lot of great moments in the game. I would still highly recommend it. It does take a little bit to get into. It's a little bit of a slog for the first little bit, but it seems like they're trying to streamline the process a little bit more, and it's pretty damn good. Not gonna lie. Need me for a second, Ash? No problem. I will be right back, guys. Give me 1 second and we will continue this quest. BRB. Alright, we are back. My apologies. Okay, let's continue things. Oh, man. Kevin. And your fantastic plans. The finality? What is it? The man looked up. Through a veil of Honkai energy, he gazed into the bottomless darkness above. He fell from the sky that day. The people on the ground looked up and thus saw the starry night sky. This is a beautiful visual. This is a beautiful visual. Some believe unfamiliar civilizations will easily develop mutual animosity. But in all fairness, this is common among people who meet by chance, since such a self-destructive tendency can be viewed as the original sin of wisdom. What is this soundtrack? Can you guys hear the game? Is it loud enough? Because if not, I need to turn it up. This is great. Then the fear of loneliness and the longing for the same kind must be equally prevalent on a cosmic scale. So imagine such a being deep in the starry sky. Hello, Dr. May. Like humans, they are rooted in a planet. Okay, so the music needs to increase in volume. Gotcha. I really don't want to hit escape or anything. Just give me a moment. I will increase. But unlike humans, they went further and merged with the planet. Let's bump the audio here a little bit. See if that's any better. Their will is omnipresent and everlasting, and their hearts are undivided. No, I appreciate it, thank you. If such a civilization existed, what do you think it'd wish for? As I see it, it would desperately want to hug its kind. Alright, the remains, the Hersher finality. Yes, that's the ultimate conclusion our era drew. Finality is an extraterrestrial manipulator of fate. It cycles human civilizations over and over, so its maker could find its kind. That's why Project Stigma is guaranteed to succeed. Yes, it cuts into the weakness of finality and dominates it in an undefiable way. Your explanation only left Bronya more puzzled. Do you really believe this counts as defeating Honkai? No, of course not. Paying the price and defeating Honkai, that is an issue for humanity. So he just wants to embrace Honkai and allow Honkai to find itself, if I'm understanding correctly. He doesn't care about what humanity wants because but doesn't he say that humanity would never cease to exist? Ah, man, it's so confusing. There's so much terminology and so much like I don't even know. There's so much theorizing that needs to happen with this game. It's insane. Of course, there's no doubt that I'm human, which is exactly why I expect you to transcend everything. Alright, let's throw down, dude. I am down. I am very rusty in my combat capabilities, so bear with me. But I am totally down. Let's do it. Compared to it, we're no more than blades of grass. Dude, I'm so happy that like we are fighting together as a team. knows no emotions, is tireless, its sole purpose is something or other of civilization. Just like the inevitable death, it hovers above the head of civilization and doesn't even care to sneer at us. I once said this to another challenger. Every intelligent life in the universe is restricted by its way of existence. It's a barrier that cannot be conquered by will. And facing Project Stigma, it's this way of existence you need to challenge. Dude, he's totally whooping my ass. I'm so bad at dodging AoEs while I'm trying to read dialogue. And he's got two forms, of course. Dude is a beast. And not just a Honkai beast. I mean, he's a beast. I love the design of his, like, form, though. His Mantis form is insane. Oof. Come on, transform. Do the thing. Oh, I expected more from you, Hershers. It's not over. Flames won't go cold. Oh shit. They will only reignite. Come on, baby. Let's go. Not phasing him at all. Sick animations, though. My good god. This game. Dude, he is a complete badass. Oh no! Deflect! Please! Heck yes. Alright, Form 2, I'm going to get owned. I'm assuming this is an unlosable battle, though, right? There's no way I can fail. Right? I'll stay stuck at 1 health. Right? Let's go for the ult. Popping that burst. Ah, snap. This is not good. I'm trying to use weapon actives when they're not ready. Smart move. Dude, he's so tanky. Very aggressive though. This is a battle. Pop that burst again. Oh! I'm assuming there's probably gonna be like another fight that's rechallengeable or something where you can probably pick easy or hard mode. If not, then maybe he's gonna be added to one of the other game modes as a boss. That'd be sick. Dude, he's totally using my Hersher of the Void ability. Can I attack? Oh, I can attack this to free my allies. Okay, that is cool. Pardon the pun. I know it's ice. Don't underestimate the power of finality. The battle has just begun. Did he just recharge all of his health? What to do? What would Mr. Yang do in this situation? Too slow. Oh, snap. We just got Judgment of Shamashed. Oh, God! Fuhua! No way, dude. Did not see that coming at all. Fuhua. Out of nowhere, steps in and saves the day. In the end, Fuhua and her share of sentience protected us. Using a pseudo-black hole to buy time, this is the same strategy Mr. Yang used on the moon. Alas, this outcome is unexpected, but simply buying time doesn't sound like the path you seek. Why must humans do such futile and sad things? She needs to be playable. This character is amazing. Hair, Misslin, whatever you want to call her, she looks incredible. But the outcome isn't so bad. I feel a bit sorry for my sire. But as new friends, we need to spend some time together, don't we? You. Before she could say another word, an intense blackness assaulted her and pulled her into the darkness like anesthesia gas. Silence ruled the field. And so, Bronya and her two friends fell into sleep and the bubble universe again. Okay. Again, wasn't expecting that. Fuwat stepping in, saving our asses. And then Misslin giving us time to ourselves to recuperate, which she initially offered us and we rejected. Very, very intriguing. Go to the lower level. Gotcha. I want to continue the journey. Yeah, go to the lower level, Gavin. Wrong way, bro. Someone took what they were going through for a dream, then right now she was experiencing the most ludicrous part. Standing by the elevator, Silly looked down into the dark hollow. An imposing might kept surging up from beneath, tainting the air with a sense of danger. Worried about her friends, Silly returned here after making sure the sanctuary was safe, only to find herself engulfed by the sinister air. Obviously, her partners were in the middle of an even tougher battle, and their opponent. Huh? As time passed, the might grew weak. All anomalies are fading away, but why can't I sense Bronya and the others? What's happening down there? I can't simply wait here. Is she coming to intervene in the battle? Is this what happened? Like, what? How did Fuhua regain her strength and then step in and defend us? Because, as far as I understood, Kevin completely smited her. Find my friends. Should be this way. Okay, so I'm gonna make this canon. I'm just gonna run around as Silly, so that way, it looks right. Oh no! Pitfall, my bad. I swear, I've definitely played platformers before. Even though this doesn't require me to jump a whole lot. I'm just bad at video games. The hell is that crystal? Dissipating crystal energy. Okay, so it's like a Sealy in Genshin? Gotcha. Yeah, I know, right? I'm gonna make this as canon as possible. Rip. Only I could pull off that. Alright, let's repair the facility. This is a whole brand new area for me in terms of like exploring the map. Obviously I was just through here story-wise, but this is something I may need to revisit. I guess the moon has always looked so desolate. So there's nothing to be afraid of. Well, I don't know about that. Is it telling me to go backwards? Assassins! I can beat them, no problem. Why do they feel familiar? Right, she encounters similar life forms. I was starting to think there, I'm like, she's not actually one of the forms, is she? Completely off base. I do like the enemy design, though, I will say that much. I don't know if they really, like, shout assassin to me as much as they do, again, a knight. Because of, like, the gigantic greatswords, not many assassins, in my opinion, would be wielding greatsword. That's right, never fear, Sile. You're not alone. Residual structures? Is that what that said? Rune trails. Okay. So there's a lot of, like, little things that you can do for various rewards in this exploration map. Like jumping on these randomly appearing platforms. Because, you know, I obviously just showcased my superior platforming capabilities. It only makes sense that I could totally do all of these puzzles, no problem. No problem. Carrier platform. Ah, you're such an idiot. Well, that's rude. Huh? The most familiar voice was suddenly heard again. It filled her with the joy of getting back something precious. Sile stood still tearfully and forgot what she was about to say. Before her eyes was a limitless mind space. Valonia? It was an environment Sile could not be more familiar with, but right now, the equally familiar figure was missing from the picture. Sile? Uh-huh. Bewildered, she looked around but could not locate the source of the voice. Sile, where are you? I can't see you. Don't worry, I'm right here. Sile! Wait. Don't turn around now. Give me a moment. Aye. She turned around before the words were finished. Finally! What happened? Are you alright? I'm alright. How can you be... You just... That's because you were in such a hurry and I wasn't ready. But you were gone for too long. I said I'm fine. I just ran into a tough guy and got stalled. Are you questioning me? There's nothing I can't handle. Sarcasm Nix, I finally achieved her after being the very first Valkyrie that I actually like really tried to roll for, and I was unfortunate enough to not be able to get her. I just recently got her before I stopped playing and I went on my little hiatus, so very glad to have her in my roster. Sile? Why do you look like you're gonna cry? Fine, it's my fault. I shouldn't have shouted at you. No, I was just thinking about how useless I am. Oh boy, here we go again. Don't spout nonsense. The fact that you're standing here is already a feat. So, you really didn't encounter anything dangerous? Don't worry, Silly. I didn't encounter anything. But, I can't help thinking. If I were strong enough, I wouldn't have lost Celeb, and I would have found Bronya and the rest by now. And if... Enough. You're really... Looks like you'll blame yourself for everything if I don't explain the situation properly. Let me tell you, something really strong and frightening took me away. It took so much effort just to find the opportunity to escape. It wasn't easy coming back to your side, so you should treat me In the next moment, she was wrapped in a warm embrace. I'm so relieved that you came back safely. I'm back. After some time... So, Sele, you said you met a strong enemy. What happened? On my way from here on my way here from the sanctuary, I couldn't sense anyone at all. Could that be related to that enemy you mentioned? Who knows? That fellow said that we're the same kind. Same kind? That brought back unpleasant memories for her. Who's there? You sly jerk. Where did you drag me to? Come out, or I'll make you regret this. As expected. You're exactly like her. Enough about me or her. Who are you? I warn you one last time. Come out right now, or you'll pay the price and regret it for the rest of your life. What an impatient child. Are you alright? I'm fine. It's nothing. Anyway, since I'm here, we won't fall for World Serpent's trap again. That person said that I'm a natural form and flattered us for no reason. Didn't you say you wanted to see me? I'm here to fulfill your wish. It's truly rare to see someone who is willing to share their body with a completely different soul. Perhaps you don't know how difficult it is to open your heart to each other. Really, I don't want to be your enemy. I just want to get along with you. Anyway, that jerk pulled some strings and made me... Forget it. Anyway, after controlling me for a long time, she was finally distracted. I jumped on it and escaped, and soon connected with you mentally. Anyhow, you really won't understand how weird that person is. If she ever dares to appear before me again, I'll make sure she gets a taste of my true power. Silly hesitated for a while before gripping the hand of the other her tightly. Don't worry, as long as you're back, whatever happens, we can face it together. As long as you're back. Yeah. Wait, what's wrong, Silly? Didn't you say that those friends of yours... So that's it! Silly, let's hurry down there. And so, she found the answer. There was nothing aside from a pitch black hole. That thick darkness exerted terrifying force, attempting to devour everything that approached it. Looking at how damaged the stone walls around it was, it had definitely seen some vicious battles in the past and present. Yet now, other than the black hole in the center, everything was gone, as if it had never existed. This is... Fool! Do you want to get sucked into? Scylla stopped and stared at everything before her in a daze. Fear and worry tugged endlessly at her heart, as if they were going to tear her apart. Okay. That is good to know. Thank you very much. Appreciated. That's good. That is good. I like surprises. Bronya. We're in trouble this time. The new message sound came from the mobile terminal. Return to the sanctuary. Okay, so there's a whole lot of chapter 33 stuff popping up right now. Makes me think that I'm probably starting chapter 33. Am I correct in assuming that 33 is started now? There's a lot of other additional things around here, like these little black hole looking things over here. Honkai leakage. Attack the area, okay, to obtain rewards. Cool. Alright, so this seems like chapter 33 to me. My intention for this stream was to tackle 32. So, seems like I'm in chapter 33. I may end up doing another stream tomorrow. And we'll continue on from there, is what I'm thinking. Dude, Sally talks a whole lot, doesn't she? I don't know if I'll be doing a whole lot of like exploring this on my own or anything. It all depends on what other stuff comes associated with this chapter. Deep dive remnants. There's so many other additional things. Monsters hiding underneath the surface. Okay. But I'm glad that I got chapter 32 out of the way. Again, hopefully we can get stuff prepared for 33 and then possibly take that down in a stream or two. Because I would like to get caught up to current. Just because, you know, I've seen the teases. No worries, no worries. I really appreciate you guys hanging out more than anything. It's crazy cool. It just feels so good to be back streaming again. I took quite a bit of a break just because, again, how busy work and everything has been for me recently, and just dealing with life stuff, I guess, more so than anything. So I kind of had to go on a little bit of a break, and not that I wanted to, I just kind of need to get things sorted and all that, but hoping to be back on a somewhat fairly consistent schedule, if possible, and then we will go from there. 1, 2, okay. So do I just follow this pattern or something? Did I memorize the order? I did not at all. Let's try this. Okay, I think I get it. That one, this one, that one, this one, that one, this one. Cool. Well, that's pretty neat. Again, I have no idea what any of these items do, so it's all whatever at this point. Again, maybe I'll explore it further in the future, but currently, I'm gonna see where this brings me. Let's return to the sanctuary and all that good stuff. But yeah, man, that's the things are getting really good. I'm very eager to figure out where things are gonna go from here, and to see more of the conflict between Kevin and our heroines unfold. Wow, okay, I'm definitely gonna need to do this stuff just because I want crystals and all that good stuff. So this will be on my back burner list. Talk to Kevin. We will do that again as well. Yeah, that's gonna do it for the stream for me for now. I've got to upload some reactions and stuff like that too. Actually, I have to record some reactions for other Honkai stuff that has released, namely like patch stuff that I just had zero time to record. All that stuff I've been repeating this entire stream. Stay tuned for some stuff, and if you guys want to see me stream the beginning, at least, of chapter 33, I will do that tomorrow, roughly around the same time that I did today, which was 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you guys very much for watching, and if you're watching after the fact, don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, enable that bell for notifications for whenever I go live and all that good stuff. Again, appreciate you guys. As always, I'll see you all for the next one. Take care. Peace.